I paid for my sister's Malibu wedding, but I wasn't invited. She said my kids could watch on Google Earth. I told her, enjoy. The next morning, she wouldn't stop calling. Okay, let's dive into this. What started as a simple wedding request from my sister quickly spiraled into a brutal lesson on family, boundaries, and the crushing weight of being the dependable one. I never thought I'd have to fight to protect my children from being a punchline in my own family, but that's exactly what happened. My name is Ethan, I'm 37, and I'm a dad to two amazing kids, Noah, who's 9, and Lily, 6. I'm the guy who remembers everyone's Wi-Fi password, who always has a charger, who keeps a tiny, ridiculous notebook full of useful information that my friends only laugh at until they need something. I manage a warehouse, I overtip, and I answer the phone on the second ring. Unless it's family drama, then I probably text back from a meeting and go fold laundry instead. My life is structured, predictable, and honestly, pretty damn good. Then there's my sister, Paige. She's 29 and sparkles, effortlessly. Our mom always talks about her like a force of nature. This beautiful, magnetic girl who turns heads even at the DMV. Paige works in events, which mostly means she knows how to talk rooms into handing her things, whether it's comp tickets or flower walls. Me? I know how to stack boxes until the room works. We grew up in Bakersfield, and the running joke was I got the sensible genes, and she got the sunshine. Our dad left when I was 12 and Paige was just 4. That's when my usefulness really began. I packed lunches, fixed leaky sinks with YouTube and a prayer, and stepped into any silence mom couldn't fill. I learned early that being dependable gets you thank yous, and it also gets you asked, again and again. Now, I live in a quiet rental, grilled cheese is a Sunday ritual, and my kids' spelling lists are the most exciting part of my Tuesdays. It's not glamorous, but when Noah and Lily are sleeping soundly, I feel like I've won. 2 months ago, Paige called. I'm getting married, she announced. We're doing Malibu. She said Malibu like it was a verb, a promise, a whole vibe. I pictured a beautiful ceremony, a sea breeze, my kids clapping like crazy in the back row. She promised it would be intimate, the venue iconic. Then came the familiar ask. I need your help. Just the boring stuff. You're good at boring. I nodded a lot. I Venmoed deposits when vendors only took one card. I poured over shuttle quotes and rain plans. I told myself, this is family. I told myself she'd of course want Noah and Lily there, my little cheering squad. We'd sit in the back, make obnoxious clapping noises, and just be family. Last week, after I'd sent the final itemized spreadsheet and a check that made my stomach clench, Paige went quiet. I figured it was just bridal fog. Then, late Wednesday night, it landed. An email. Subject, quick wedding update. It wasn't a letter, it was a wall of text. Hey, quick thing. We're keeping the ceremony super curated. No kids, no plus ones, just core energy. I'm still obsessed with you. Obviously, if your kids want to be part of it, they can watch through the Google Earth window. LOL. You get it? Love you. I read it twice. My brain refused the words. Asterisk curated. No kids. Google Earth window. LOL. Asterisk my children. Noah and Lily, who call her Aunt P, who'd practiced saying Malibu in the car, suddenly reduced to a throwaway joke in an email. I stared at the screen until the glow felt like a fluorescent burn behind my eyes. Noah padded into the kitchen in his socks, hair flat on one side. Is Aunt P excited? He asked, his voice soft with anticipation. She's planning. I managed to say, my own voice feeling thick. He nodded like a grown man. Do we need new shoes? I smiled with my teeth, a grimace that felt alien, and washed a cup that wasn't dirty. I didn't answer her email. I couldn't. I put my phone face down and made grilled cheese, the scent of melting cheddar doing nothing to soothe the ache in my chest. At bedtime, Lily whispered, do flower girls get to keep the petals? I said, always, and tucked her in, my gaze fixed on the ceiling. The house groaned around me, and the word curated echoed like a persistent, unwelcome guest in my skull. At midnight, I finally wrote back. 10 words. Sure. Enjoy your big day. We'll celebrate from here. I hit send. Turned off the kitchen light. Listened to the click. And in the morning, my phone lit up like a slot machine. See, there's a backstory here, and it's not subtle. It's written in receipts and birthdays, and the silent expectation that I'll always understand. I was trained for this role early. When Dad left, Mom said, we're a team. What she really meant was I would patch the holes, and Paige would be protected from the drafts. As a teenager, I learned to be useful so thoroughly it became my personality. I drove Paige to theater practice, to hair appointments, to friends' houses 30 minutes in the wrong direction. When the windshield cracked, I told Mom, don't worry, and put it on a credit card with a limit I shouldn't have had. When Paige got a brand new MacBook for school, the family group chat threw confetti emojis. When I got a used toolbox, no one asked for a picture. Do I resent it? I'm trying to be honest. No, not resent. Recognize. It was unequal on purpose, wrapped in the comforting lie that she's still figuring it out. There were 100 small humiliations you learn to swallow like vitamins. At my college graduation, Mom took photos of Paige with the empty chairs because it was artsy, completely forgetting I was still standing there in my gown. At Christmas, my kids got socks with snowmen. Paige got a weekend in Tulum. Different categories, Mom would say cheerfully. When I dared to bring it up, I was instantly labeled bitter. You have the kids, Mom would declare, as if children were a trophy instead of two human beings who needed bedtime stories and orthodontists. Money, that was always the bone in the throat. I earn sure. I budget like my life depends on it. I can tell you what a gallon of milk costs at 3 different stores. But life for me has been a relay race of one-time emergencies. Last year, the warehouse cut hours, my brakes evaporated. The same week, Paige called, crying about a security deposit that had gotten complicated. I sent her $900. She sent a heart emoji and vowed to repay me when her new brand deal hit. The brand deal was pictures of her stirring a drink that changed color. The repayment? It never appeared. When she got engaged, it wasn't a surprise. Paige dreams and monologues. Her fiancé, Tyler, is nice in a way that feels curated too, like he read a handbook titled How to Be Chill. He calls me big bro and slaps my shoulder as if that pays a bill. He builds apps nobody uses. He's fine. Paige's first wedding ask was small, taste testing cupcakes on FaceTime while I was on my lunch break in a parking lot. Then it got bigger. Can you look over this vendor contract? It's legalese. Ty and I are so busy. Can you put a deposit down? It's just for today. I'll pay you back. Can we use your Costco card for candles? The vibe requires bulk. If I hesitated, I got voice notes. You're my rock. Don't be transactional. That one stuck like gum in my throat. I'm not pretending I'm innocent. I wired money because I thought family means you cover. I'm not rich, but I'm trained. The deposits grew. $500 here, $1,200 there. A shuttle company that only takes one card. A rental company that needed confirmation by noon. My inbox turned into a wedding folder. My savings turned into a line item labeled, "We'll settle later." Mom cheered from the sidelines. Ethan, you're making your sister's dream come true, she'd gush, her eyes glossy as if I were handing Paige a star. When I dared to mention a budget, Mom frowned, like the word itself offended her. Don't make it about money, she'd say. This is love. Meanwhile, my kids watched YouTube videos on how flower girls walk. Noah practiced holding a ring box with both hands. He asked me if people clapped when the ring came out. Always, I told him. I'd convinced myself that even if there were rough edges, the wedding day would be soft for them. And then came the email. Curated. No kids. Google Earth window, LOL. She made my children a joke and attached an LOL to it. If she'd said, no kids in January, I would have managed the disappointment. But we were inside the thing. Money had already moved. Emotions had already built a whole tent. The morning after my 10-word reply, Paige called. 7:04, 7:06, 7:11. At 7:30, Mom texted, call your sister. She's upset. Don't ruin this. At 7:45, Tyler chimed in. Hey, man, let's not be dramatic. There's a plan. The plan was apparently not to talk like human beings, but to handle me like a PR issue. I didn't pick up because I was making lunches. Noah likes turkey with mustard. Lily wants the crusts off. Both want their apples cut into little boats. I kept moving because the only thing that truly defeats panic in my chest is motion. I drove my kids to school, listening to Lily hum a made-up song. At work, I took inventory, trying not to look at my phone trembling on the shelf. By noon, I had 12 missed calls, 3 voicemails, and a long email from Paige, subject line, boundaries. That was very specifically about mine. She called my response hostile. She said I was making her choose between her wedding and my children. She said, adults only is normal. She said, we're protecting the experience. She did not mention the money. She did not mention me by name once. She wrote like I was a department. I wrote back once more. I won't argue over my kids. I wish you a beautiful day. I hit send and watched a forklift beep in reverse, a metronome for the life I actually have. That night, after cereal for dinner because I was done pretending, I spread the contracts and receipts on my table. Candle invoice. Tent deposit. Shuttle retainer. Venue security hold. I knew what number I was in for. I knew I could just eat it, call it a lesson learned. But I also knew what the voice in my chest had finally started to say. Stop financing the version of you that only exists when they need a card. I slept badly and woke up with the decision already in my throat. The breaking point happened not in some grand, dramatic setting, but in a strip mall office space off the highway, bathed in fluorescent light. It was the venue manager's office. I was there because Paige had CC'd me on an email chain where the venue asked for the final payment to be charged to the card on file, a card with my name on it. I drove over on my lunch break with a manila folder and a heart that wouldn't sit still. The manager, a woman named Tessa with competent eyebrows, shook my hand. You're Ethan, she said, half statement, half sigh. We have a situation. I won't be authorizing new charges, I said immediately, cutting her off. I'm not canceling anything. I'm not sabotaging anything. I'm just telling you my card is not a blank check. She nodded like she'd seen this movie before. Copy. We just need the replacement payment today, or late fees kick in tomorrow. I stared at the contract. My name. My card. My sister's dream, written in fonts that looked classy. I thought about Paige's email. I thought about Noah asking if he needed new shoes. I thought about Lily asking if flower girls got to keep the petals. Can you put a hold until COB? I asked. I'll ping the couple. They can call you. We can hold until 5, Tessa said, her voice firm but not unkind. But if they don't pay, we start dismantling. It's policy. I texted Paige and Tyler a single line. Venue needs payment by 5. My card is no longer available. Paige called in 2 minutes. I stepped into the hallway. What are you doing? She demanded, her voice rising. You wouldn't. Not you. I'm not canceling your wedding, I said, keeping my voice level, steady. I'm just ending my side of the financing. Those are 2 different things. You promised. I promised to help, I clarified. I didn't promise to be your bank while you make my kids a punchline. She went quiet. That particular quiet where you can almost hear her smile straighten, her composure cracking. This is rotten, she said finally, a sharp edge in her tone. You're punishing me. This isn't about revenge, I corrected her, fighting to keep my voice even. This is about closure. I'm done paying to be treated like an intern. You're being dramatic, she snapped, using that old family word that really meant. You're saying what we don't want to hear. I'm being clear. Then Tyler got on the line. Bro, he said, that curated chill back in his voice. Let's keep the vibes chill. You know how these things go. I do, I said. They go with adults making decisions. One of mine is no more charges. Tyler sighed like a podcast host. Okay, we got it. We'll pay. Just don't do any more surprises. I'm not surprising you, I said. I'm just not volunteering to be surprised anymore. I hung up. I went back inside. Tessa raised an eyebrow. I shook my head. They'll call, I said. At 4:51, my phone buzzed. A screenshot. Payment received. A second later, a text from Paige. Happy? That was humiliating. A minute after that, another. Also, you're still invited to the after party, but like no kids. It's a vibe. The dismissiveness, the casual cruelty, it was breathtaking. That night, Mom called and left a voicemail that started with, I'm disappointed, and ended with, you're breaking my heart. When I didn't call back, she sent a text. Fine, but don't expect us to rearrange the seating chart just because you want the children to be in adult spaces. Be reasonable. The sheer mental gymnastics of being asked to feel guilty for wanting my kids at a wedding I helped fund tried to climb into my head. I shut the door. 2 days later, Saturday morning, I took Noah to an 8 a.m. soccer game. Lily made a sign that said, Go, Noah, with 2 hearts that leaned like they were tired. In between warm-ups and juice boxes, my phone buzzed nonstop. Paige. Mom. A number saved as Paige's planner. I didn't answer. I was too busy being the thing I am, on purpose. On Sunday, because it's my favorite way to be stubborn, I did chores with extravagant peace. I vacuumed. I roasted vegetables my kids would ignore. I fixed a loose cabinet hinge. I wrote a new budget without a wedding column. I blocked new numbers that appeared like dandelions. In the afternoon, Mom showed up, unannounced. I didn't let her in. We talked through the screen door like we were 2 neighbors, which, honestly, felt closer to the truth lately. Ethan, don't do this to your sister, she said, clutching her purse like it held the plot of our family together. I did something for my kids, I said. I said no to being a wallet with feelings. She's under stress, Mom pressed. Brides say things, you know? She didn't mean it. She wrote it. I countered, firmly. That's a level of meaning. Mom sighed and tried a different angle. We're family. Family doesn't invoice me for compliance, I said. Not anymore. She'll invite them to the photo hour, Mom offered, like a coupon from a junk drawer. They can take a picture by the wall. No, I said. Either they're welcome, or they're not. We have our own photo wall. It's my fridge. Mom looked like I'd just spoken Martian. So, you're not coming? She asked. I sent my answer. This is childish. This is boundary, I said, and the word came out clean, new for me. I get it. She left with a parting shot that was supposed to hurt. I hope you can live with yourself. I watched Noah teach Lily how to tie her shoe on the doormat. I can't, I thought to the empty room. On Monday morning, Paige called at 7:02, 7:04, 7:07. I silenced the phone and poured milk. At 7:20, an email arrived with the subject line in all caps, final notice. It read like a legal threat, except it was about my attitude. The last line, if you're going to act like this, don't bother coming. I looked up from the screen at my kids eating cereal and said, great news. We've got a free Saturday. The days leading up to the wedding were a live-action group project where I simply opted out. The phone kept trying to rope me back in. Paige's planner called to confirm my responsibilities for welcome bags. I replied, I have none. Tyler texted a screenshot of a DJ spreadsheet I'd made weeks ago. Can you send this to the DJ? I forwarded it with one line. Per your request weeks ago. He sent a thumbs up and a you're a lifesaver, which was funny because I wasn't doing that anymore. Mom oscillated between guilt and gospel. This family has sacrificed so much, she wrote like a sermon. You aren't the only one with children, she wrote, except Paige's were Pinterest boards. We don't keep score, she wrote, which is something only the scorer says. I built a filter in my email titled Noise. It worked almost too well. The quiet almost made me cry. On Wednesday, Noah asked, are we going to Malibu? I crouched down so we were eye level. No, buddy, I said. Aunt P's wedding is adults only. He mulled it over. So we don't count. I felt something in my chest bend. We count here, I said fiercely. We'll make our own day. We planned it like a heist. Saturday would be waffles, a scavenger hunt at the park, a movie fort in the living room. Lily wanted glitter. Noah wanted nachos. I wanted to stop checking my phone every 5 minutes. All 3 wishes made it onto the list. Friday night. Paige posted a story from a Malibu balcony. The ocean looking expensive. The caption, tomorrow. I watched it in the dark, like I was peeking through a fence. Then I put the phone in a drawer and went to cut out scavenger hunt clues shaped like little stars. Saturday morning at 8:13, Paige called. I let it go to voicemail. Then she called again and again. I put the phone on Do Not Disturb, and we whistled at our waffles like it was our job. At 9:05, Mom texted, answer your sister. At 9:07, Tyler, man, please. At 9:09, an unknown number left a voicemail. We're at the gate, and the shuttle manifests. Delete. At 10 a.m., we were at the park, finding 3 red leaves and a stick shaped like a Y. Lily announced every discovery like a news anchor. When we got home, there were 5 missed calls and a text from Paige that started with E, emergency. I took a deep breath, put on a cartoon for the kids, and stepped onto the porch to call back. Because I am, against my will, a decent person. What's wrong? I asked. Silence. Then a breath that sounded like a straw sucking air. The shuttle company says the route I picked needs an extra permit, she said, words fast and wet. They're threatening to cancel. The city is being bureaucratic. She inhaled sharply. I know you know how to fix things. Can you just call them? Or come, please? You're so good at this. I looked through the window at Noah teaching Lily how to make a fort roof with 2 chairs and a blanket. My kids have lives that don't include Malibu. I remembered Paige's email. Asterisk Google Earth window. LOL. Asterisk I remembered the line I'd promised myself to keep. I'm home with my kids, I said. I'm not your emergency contact. You're punishing me, she said immediately. I'm protecting me, I corrected. And them. Don't do this, she said, her voice sharpening now, a dangerous edge. Don't be petty. This is my wedding. You chose not to invite my kids, I said, my voice unwavering. You told me they could watch from the Google Earth window. You made a joke of us. I won't pretend to be staffed now. So, you're okay with the shuttles not running? She asked, dangerously calm. I'm okay with you dealing with the consequences of your choices, I said. You're an adult. Hire someone. Ask the planner. Ask Tyler. Call the city. She went quiet for a beat. You've changed. I'm finally acting like the person you keep pretending I am, I said. Responsible for me. You'll regret this. Maybe, I said. Because I can tell the truth and still not bend. I hung up. The phone buzzed again, but the fort needed a roof, and Noah needed someone to tell him where to find tape, and Lily needed someone to confirm that the glitter glue would, in fact, dry. We built a castle. We ate nachos for lunch. We laughed at a joke about a potato that wouldn't sit still. At 3 p.m., a picture arrived in the family chat. Paige in a dress made of light. Tyler beside her, the ocean clapping. The caption, we did it. The comments were hearts and praise hands, and perfect day. I typed nothing. I felt sad. Of course I did. Then I looked at my kids asleep under the fort, cartoon voices murmuring softly, and I thought, we did it, too. Sunday morning, Mom called. I answered, because you can't dodge forever. It was beautiful, she said in a voice like a tour guide. Everything worked out, even the shuttles. Good, I said. But people asked where you were. It was embarrassing. You told them the truth. Of course not, she bristled. I said, you had the kids. That is the truth, I said. Just not the shame you want it to be. Mom sighed. Paige is hurt. So am I told her. She didn't mean the Google thing, Mom said, ever the apologist. She's young. She jokes. She wrote it, I said again. That's meaning. Mom tried one last alley. Let's all get brunch and reset. I pictured a table where I apologized to be re-invited to a photo hour my children weren't allowed to attend. No brunch, I said. Not until there's an apology to them. To them? She repeated, like I'd said to the dog. Yes, I confirmed, to Noah and Lily. They were told they don't count. Fix that, or stop asking me to carry this. Mom didn't answer. The pause stretched until it snapped. We'll see, she said, which in our family meant we won't. In the quiet that followed, I did something I should have done years ago. I made a new family group chat. Just us 3. Me, Noah, and Lily. I dropped a photo of our fort. Noah sent a string of taco emojis. Lily sent a sticker of a cat winking. I felt my chest unclench in a very specific, deeply satisfying way, like a seatbelt finally releasing after a long, stressful drive. On Monday, Paige finally texted 2 sentences that weren't a PR draft. I'm sorry I said that about the kids. It was cruel. Then, a beat later, I still wanted you there. I wrote back, I wanted us there. Then I put the phone down and let the message be a pebble in a stream that kept moving. Closure, I've learned, looks like small, boring decisions you stick to. I told Paige I'm not a bank. I stopped. I told Mom no more ambush brunches. I stopped showing up to be scolded over coffee. I told Tyler to ask his planner, not his big bro. He did. I kept the sentence that matters in my pocket. Asterisk, this isn't about revenge. This is about closure. Asterisk boundaries are not punishment. They're instructions, to everyone else, and to me. I'm not rich now. I didn't get my deposits back. I ate most of it, and called it tuition. But I bought Noah the shoes he asked about, and Lily a cheap bouquet with petals she could keep. We had our own photo wall, the fridge covered in magnets, and the lives we actually live. Weeks later, Paige sent professional photos. They are beautiful. I felt a sting. Yes, but then a calm settled over me. I don't need to rearrange my life to be in someone else's story where I only exist as a utility. My name is Ethan. I'm 37. I'm the dad with the tiny notebook, the full sink, and a clean conscience. The next time someone emails me LOL about my kids, the reply will be shorter than 10 words. It will be one door, closed with love.